I think we're gonna go. I think we're running now. Yeah, I'm early. All right, let me scroll down. Let me make sure everything is okay. You can hear me okay? You can see me okay? How's the voice to guitar ratio? Check 1, 2. Check. What's up, Cheddar? What's up, Jim? What's up, Ben? What's up, Metal God? Denny? Mark? Frank? Metal God? Dano? What's up, Peter? Better than late, right? What's up, Daryl? What's up, Guitar Tech, Demon X, Jim, Tony, Chad, and Star Guitar Works, and Zach. Charles, of course. Dale, what's up, buddy? SFB. What's up, Jim? What's up, Pacifica? Glad to see you make it. What's up, Will? What's up, Brian? And Joseph. RJ, of course. I think I saw nobody go by. And Cyanide. McReekin. Ed Axman. 14 Angel. Cowtown Customs. Going by a little fast here. Hello from Dino. What's up, Mojo Daddy, Mr. Starlight, Edward Interline, and Dennis, of course, Daniel. Can you review an XFX3? Sure, send me one. I'd love one. God, I love this guitar. You know, it's one thing about having a bunch of guitars is, you know, you pull one out you haven't played in a while, and it's like a whole new guitar. No, you rock, Thomas. What's up, Tactical? I think I saw Zoso go by. Having the first set of the storm of the season. Yeah, it's snowing out there now. I mean, shit. I left the cat outside. On the porch. There's no one home. They all went out to Panic at the Disco concert down in Providence. So there's no one to let that cat in. It's sitting on the porch, like, staring at the door. So at some point, I'm going to have to take a break and go and let that goddamn cat in. What's up, Quentin? Scotsman? What's up, Tim? No, you rock. Steven from KC. What tell you is that this is my American Standard with rosewood neck. It's your standard with the rosewood neck. It's not roasted, it's rosewood. One piece rosewood, which is why it has the skunk stripe in the back. You get the old tresser in there. Heavy snow, yeah. You know, I don't think we're going to get a ton of snow because we're closer to the ocean. You know, Boston. I think inland's going to get a lot more, and like up in New Hampshire, going to get, you know, a lot more than we are. We're going to turn to rain, so it shouldn't be. I mean, not that I didn't completely like prep for it, but still. Shrewsbury, England. We have a Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. Daughter loves Panic at the Disco. Yeah, same here. So does mine. Hi there. And they're going out there they couldn't drag me to the show. It's like my 2 kids, my wife, and one of their friends, or 2 of their friends. It was a Christmas gift. You're going to Panic at the Disco. Whoa. And, it's like right after Christmas. So, here it is just a couple of weeks later and they're going to the show. I'm looking forward to see the Gibson Les Paul 50 spec. Yeah, did you see that? A bunch of companies have, released some stuff, and I think a lot of people were really liking what they saw out of Gibson. Right? They're sort of putting some some old fan favorites out there in colors that people like. It's a good way to endear yourself to the crew in your first year as CEO. And then PRS announced some new stuff. There's a whole bunch of new stuff getting announced like this week. Someone was saying, were they asking if the neck was built by Warmoth? No, it's Fender. Look at the old Fender logo. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe if I just tilt it in just the right. Oh, damn. Getting good at this. You can see the old Fender. Yeah, you can still buy these. The limited edition is, I think, in their 3rd year. So I got this in 2016. Hey, thanks, Pacifica. I have a mid-90s Pacifica, surprisingly. Higher end model. Hold on, let me pull this out. I have a mid-90s Pacifica high end model. It has a double single coil in the bridge. How different is that from a humbucker? Big fan. It probably double single coil may be marketing for a parallel, right? In other words, if you have a north-south in each one, right, they're polar opposites, but instead of running them one through and then into the other one and out, in other words, one after another, instead you break it up before and it goes into one and then the other and gets combined. That's really like 2 single coils, but it's still a humbucker, right, but it's just in parallel. So that may be a marketing term for parallel mode, and that may be just how it's... So it would be a little brighter. Wouldn't be as warm, right? Because when you double up when the coils go one after another in series, they're a lot louder and warmer. They're stronger. There's a whole bunch of stuff about it. When they're in parallel, they're brighter, but they're still humbucking, right? New Epi DC looks good. Have you ever heard of a custom neck made by Warmoth and thinking of a replacement? Warmoth has always got a pretty good rep as far as I know. I haven't really heard too many horror stories about, or any really horror stories about Warmoth. None that I can think of. Have you used a head rush board yet? I haven't, no. Maybe at NAMM. I'll go check one out. Just got here. It's the snow. Snow here is pretty light right now. I can still see pavement a little bit where I treated. I paid retail for the telly. This was $14.50. I think now they're up to $16.50. So they've jumped up a couple of $100. But now there's so many in the market that you can get these used. They're out there, $1,100, $1,200 in the used market. There is a couple of variations. This has the twisted telly pickups in it, and it's got individual saddles instead of the brass bars. There's a later model that uses the more traditional brass bars, and I don't think it has twisted telly pickups in it, which is, I think, a custom shop pickup, right? I don't know what it has in it, but it's not the same pickup. So they changed the pickups and they changed the bridge a little bit in later models. It's not exactly the same as this one. Oh, always wondered if it's just semantics. Seems to be more of a difference, more single coilish. Yeah, they would be more single coilish. You're absolutely right. They're brighter, without a doubt. Right? Without a doubt. Oh, God, that coffee is so good. You play the... You know what? I don't see my video anymore. Okay, let me see. Oh, God. Hold on. I'm getting... You know what? I just got to minimize this. There we go. There we go. All right. Oh, this one here? Yeah, that's a nice one. Right there. 3120. Yeah, maybe later. Sure. We're 8 minutes in on a 2-hour show. Probably going to use the telly for a little bit. Any news on high-end Kramer's? No, but Kramer will be there. And I will be going, you know, I had a major breakthrough in, like, video with my GoPro. Like, figuring out just, like, sort of, like, film speeds and stuff like that. And I've really sort of nailed a pretty damn decent, you know, I've tested it like a dozen times in the last 2 days, a pretty decent super slow-mo. So I'm going to be busting out both like the hyperlapse, the slow-mo. I find when I go around, you know, just going back and looking at my older videos and critiquing them, everything just goes by too fast. And once you start moving side to side, it gets really blurry, right? Just blurs right the hell out. That's at 30 frames a second. When you're at 120 frames a second, I assure you, it is freaking gorgeous. So I've done a lot of work in the last couple of days, and I may have to stick to 1080p just because it's the only way I can get the frame rate and linear walls. In other words, I don't want the walls to bow out. So the only way I can do it is in 1080p. I could shoot it bowed out in 2.7K and then use a filter in Premiere to get rid of the walls. But all it does is it warps it and then crops it down, and you wind up at 1080p. It's like there's no gain in resolution by doing it. So I might as well just shoot in 1080p, and I'll have to take this extra step in processing on my computer to actually do it. So we're getting there. It's going to be an awesome... They got the jam room set up at Framus, so there's going to be NAMM jams. What else is going on? You know, between the new gear, and I got my gimbal working with my GoPro. So, the GoPro does have some killer stabilization, but not when you hit 120 frames a second. When you start getting into those numbers, you lose your stabilization, right? It can't process it all at once because too many frames per second. 120 frames a second, it can't process it. So that's where the gimbal comes in, because I can put it on the gimbal, and it is just freaking gorgeous. It took a little while to get it balanced out just because the GoPro's so damn light. Yeah, hopefully Stage Master comes back. I'm hoping it's going to be a Stage Master. Steve, probably best to stay at 1080p. Yeah, it probably is. I like to shoot 4K. I really do. I think it just comes out great. Most of my videos shot here are in 4K. And usually when I go to the NAMM show, I shoot in 4K. Now, I could shoot in 4K 60 at this NAMM show, but it would have the bowed walls. I can shoot in 2.7K linear without the bowed walls, so when you're walking down, things aren't all warped on the side, which is annoying. I don't like that. It looks more natural with, when they're straightened out. But I can't get 120 frames a second. The best I can do is 60, which is pretty good. Don't get me wrong. I like 60 frames a second because you can really get that down, especially if I sequence it at 24 or 30 frames a second. It's still good. But it's no 120 frames a second. Let me tell you, that 120 frames a second is so goddamn buttery smooth. It's like they start with 24 ounces of rich creamery butter. Then they turn the camera on. That thing is unbelievable. What's up, Surf B? What's up, Fret Man? No, you rock. So I head out to NAMM on Wednesday. I'm a very late flyer. A lot of people are out there already, but I ain't got the hotel money for that. This trip is already going to cost me like $1,500 out of pocket. So I can't be staying out for extra time. Maybe next year I can get a company to give me a little sponsor, but. 4K is great, but the world is still stuck in 1080p or 1440p. See, I just go by what the phones use, and a lot of phones are at, what's that, Quad HD, right? Not Ultra HD, not really 4K, but that like 2.7 or 2.1K, whatever the hell that is. That's what my phone is, right? It's Quad 720, whereas real high def 4K is Quad 1080. But so here's the thing. When you go to the NAMM show, a lot of the booths are downstairs in the main room that's very well lit with big giant, metal halide lamps, very bright in there, right? But then you go upstairs to the private rooms. Now, a room like Fender will be well lit. They don't fool around. They like a nice, bright, well lit room, but not ESP. I walk into ESP, that's going to be a relatively sort of dark room, very black in the background and everything. And it's a little tricky. It's a little tricky shooting in those conditions. Very, very low light. So, we'll see. We'll see how the GoPro works. I got to say, it's taken a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm starting to figure out that a lot of the settings that they set up aren't your best settings. You're better to go in there and really tweak it up. And I've been getting much, much better results. Like pretty stunning results. Should be good. What's up, Angus? What's up, Boogie Woogie? Showman? What's up, Big Cass from Scotland? $60 to 120 frames, way more important than resolution. I agree. So, like, I was just going around and just, down here, just walking along the wall, right? So, like, say I want to go in a room and I want to shoot that video content. Here I got my GoPro and I'm walking along the wall. When I'm at 30 frames a second, it's all mush. It's all blur, right? Because there's no more data in there. When I'm at 60 frames a second, it's pretty good. It's a clear improvement over 30. Don't get me wrong. It's much, much better. But at 120 frames a second, oh my God. It's like cinema documentary. It's like, that's it. It's 120 frames a second seems to be it. So I'm going to start shooting some high-speed stuff just so I can get some better slow-mo, on my produced videos. And I think the content will come out better because of it. I think it'll come out sharper. Like everything that's come out so far. And I went back and looked at my old NAMM videos. And it's like you're walking there, you're trying to get a shot. Even with the gimbal on, any little movement, everything just turns to mush. 120 frames a second, it's just like, oh my God. What's up, Gary? Any tips for lefties? Yeah, I would say if you want it, you should join lefty forums and lefty groups because that's sometimes your only way to really get in on guitars, right? They're so hard to find. Like I have friends they belong to lefty forums and lefty groups where they sort of all keep in touch with like what's out there on the market because it's a whole industry unto itself. Why don't you ever give tabs on the screen to my solos? You ever tab out a solo? That is a lot of work. If something could hear my solo and just tab it out for me, sure, but tabbing out a solo, that's a lot of work. I didn't go to music school, so I went to regular college. What's up, Mike from Minneapolis? Speaking of cinema, did you see the Bird Box movie? No, but apparently that's a thing. Is it Netflix who owns Bird Box? Is it Netflix? We have Netflix. I never watch it. You know, I'm really... My wife watches, like, everything. To let you know how, like, little I watch TV, I didn't even watch, like, what was that huge one? Breaking Bad. Not a single episode. My friends were begging me, it's so good. I'm like, I know. Only so many hours in the day. Does Line 6 have anything come out this NAMM? If they do, I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if am I on their mailing list? I'm not sure. Music school? You don't need no music. Yeah, I like your use of no and no. You use an app to take the guitar set, it'll turn it into MIDI, and then let the DAW do the notation. Yeah, I heard there are apps out there that can listen to live music and turn it into MIDI notation, like directly, just does the intermediate steps for you. But I don't know how accurate that would be. You know, I feel like I'd spend more time correcting it. I might as well just write it out myself, right? At some point, because a lot of times you think of it a certain way. Hey, Rosewood Neck. Hey, yes. Is Bread Box about guitar gear? Then yeah, I don't. You know, I only have so much time for, you know, fantasy dramas. And, you know, in a lot of ways, and again, check this off box off on another movie I didn't see, but it sounds sort of like A Quiet Place, right? Sort of very similar thing where you have to, like, sort of deprive yourself of one of your senses, or, right? Gotta be really, real careful. Hey, Steve, mine has the twisted telly and the neck and the broadcast from the bridge. Okay, yeah, so maybe that's what it is, twisted telly, yeah, and the broadcasting, yeah. Yeah, I'm at Framus 3 of the days at 5 o'clock every day. I'm sort of doing a red carpet, and they're giving out food. So I just got to bring everyone over and get, you know, everyone there for food, and then do a little red carpet work. Should be fun. Just picked up a blue flower telly. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Those are cool. Yeah, I had to break this out. Nice. Someone said, nice to see the Rosewood Neck telly. Yeah, I had to break this out. Gotta do the telly once in a while. How's your PRS search going? Pretty good. I did see one recently that was pretty damn good. Looked at it for too long, and of course it's sold. I may, in the interim, Framus might make me one of their custom shop, like their super high end ones. that I might buy. It's not free. I'd have to buy it, but it would be at a super discount at the NAMM show. So let me see how much that's going to set me back. And then I'm targeting the spring for the PRS, though. It's going to happen. It's probably going to be my tax refund, and that might be held up a little bit. We'll see. Last year I filed on February 1. So if I could do that again this year, it won't be that far off. I was pretty ready to go pretty quickly. We filed February 1 last year. So if we could do that again this year, then, maybe I'll have the cash by March. What's up, Sinner? BV Ninja? Hey, Angus Cooper. Out of all your guitars, which one is the closest to being your dream guitar? Steve from Boston. That's a good question. I don't know if I have a dream guitar. What happens is it's like a food, right? You think you found a dream food until you're on your 13th helping of it. And you're like, you know what? I'm a little sick of this. Right? So, I think that really, it's always sort of been a Strat style, right? I guess maybe like a Grail for me would be like an old, 62 or a 63 Strat, like a real one. But be careful what you wish for. One of my biggest disappointments ever was I played a 57 Strat. It had a neck like a baseball bat. It was checked all over, and it was great. Hey, thanks, Jennifer. Purell Fund for anthrax prevention. I'm going to try. I've already been sick twice this year, so maybe I've got the antibodies. But I tell you, the Framus I'm looking at is pretty sick. It's a new model that they're coming out with in 2019, and it solves a couple of problems. A very much Les Paul style guitar with single cut, but it's got a blade switch, which I really like. I'm sort of a fan of the blade over the toggle. And what else can I tell you about it? It's got a flame maple neck, and it's a gorgeous instrument. The problem is that even with a massive discount, you're starting at a really, really high place, and so even with all that money off, it's still quite a bit of money. So we've got to work something out. Got to figure something out. Happy Blizzard Day from Saugus, yeah. Man, that sounds good, huh? So will YouTube take 40% of what I super chat? No, I actually found out on the super chat they take less. It's probably around 10%. Right? It's like a flat fee plus a percentage. I think it works out to like it's around 10%. So it's a little bit easier on the super chat. They still take something though. I mean, please. They're not in the business of just handing money over. I take a weak percentage, but I don't get greedy. Right? I take from the rich and I give to the needy. I take a weak percentage, but I don't get greedy. Just drink more at NAMM, right? Alcohol disinfects. I tell you, I'm ready for some drinking. I haven't really had any beers in a long time. I'm trying to think, the last time I drank was probably over at the Summer NAMM show. So, no, God, no. KitCon. Okay, KitCon. Definitely had a few drinks at KitCon. But that's it. I really haven't had any beers since KitCon, and that was in October. So I'll be ready for a couple at night. I heard BC Rich. Someone said, does anyone know if BC Rich is going to have a presence at NAMM? I heard they were not going to be there. You know, I can't confirm, but I know Chapman's not there. He's already announced that. There's a few brands. You know, a lot of brands, it's worth it for them to go every other year. It's very expensive. Really, really expensive. I know my friends like tiny little booth, and it might be the smallest footprint you can get. I think it's like $6 or $8 grand. Plus, you got to get all your crap out there, and you got to put yourself up in a hotel. A NAMM booth is a minimum, like, you know, $10,000 endeavor. It's not cheap. And again, when you look at these really massive booths, a booth that probably costs, you know, that excursion for them between getting the equipment out there and buying the booth, you're looking at $100,000, right? Putting staff up in a hotel, all that stuff, you're looking at $100,000. You know, $50,000 to $100,000 easily. You know, you better be selling some merch. Hold on, who am I missing here? Agglefish says, awesome, Steve. Let's get fucked up. You got it, bro. Let's drink all the beers we didn't drink in Germany. In fact, I'm buying first, maybe even first 2 rounds. Chapman said it'll be at a hotel across from the show. That's what a lot of them do. That's a little not illegal, quote unquote, but NAMM doesn't want people getting hotel rooms and meeting people up there. They try to rent those rooms if they can. They want to lock down that whole area. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. No, Hunter and I, we'll probably head out, you know, get an onion ring tower, you know, a couple of steins. No, Germany beer is really good. We just needed to drink more of it. You know what happened? They literally, and I could not they literally ran out of beer. Everyone drank all the, the Weiss beers, right? All the Weissen beer. Those pretty much went pretty quickly. And then we were left with all the Pilsners, which, you know. Yeah, all right, you got it, Hunter. At least one round in an onion ring tower. We'll head over to Bubba Gump. Over to the old Bubba Gump shrimp. Well, that does sound good, huh? This guitar is awesome. I'm going to put this guitar in the awesome category. Hey, what's up, Johnny Bean? Yeah, it's the Wacken beer. You having Weissen? Weissbier. Weissbier? Danke? You know? Yeah, they ran out of beer in Germany. You would have thought that was impossible, yet there it was. Well, you know, when you bring a bunch of musicians and you plop them in the same friggin' lobby for several nights, by the second or third night, you know, after beer, go for bong hits. Ed, you're making a good point right now. You know, it's completely legal in Cali right now, and I believe I can even take some back home, right? Didn't the TSA announce that for amounts 1 ounce or below, they'll allow you to take it on the plane? Thank you. We'll get Hunter all fucked up, crawling along the wall. Got any gigs coming up new? My gigging days are probably over. You know, unless you count down here. You know what? I got a couple of friends that are pretty kick-ass musicians. And I mean, and I'm not saying that lightly. They're in a whole nother league than me, right? They're really, really unbelievably good players. And they've expressed interest in doing something. In fact, we thought about doing like sort of a medley. We could do like the history of Led Zeppelin and the history of AC/DC or something, and pull it off on like as long as I could get my shit together, pull it off on like a pretty amazing level, right? These guys are, like I said, they're top quality. I would be the weakest link in the band by far. So, maybe do something with them this year. There's been a lot of talk about it. One of the guys, he gigs so much that really the only time he's even available is like the month of February. He kind of gets that month off because it's so weak, so light. But other than that, I mean, he's always posting, like, I'm sitting up at the Museum of Fine Arts. I'm setting up at the Boston Public Library. I'm setting up at the House of Blues. He's always at the House of Blues. Where does he play a lot? The Four Seasons, it's like he's got those sweet, sweet corporate gigs aplenty. He's always going down to, not Nantucket, what the hell is that? Oh, God. Down in Rhode Island, Newport. He's played us down there a lot. And down the Cape a lot, too. So those guys, they would be a good band to have. No worries there. Again, I would be the weakest link, without a doubt. I thought that when Bill came over, and Bill's a different guy, but I thought Bill sounded great. I mean, I thought a lot of people thought Billy sounded pretty damn good. There's a guy I've known since like 1983. Right. Yeah, I'm sure he plays Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket and all that stuff, but I was really thinking of Newport, Rhode Island. He plays down in Newport a lot. Peter in the UK asked if I ever played a Nags guitar. I did. My good friend Joe Sprunt, an amazing guitar player, came over here and brought his Nags guitar and his amazing Kemper. And I shot some video, but I have some serious audio problems. I might see if it's over hot. It's oversaturated. It's way, way, way too hot. I'm supposed to hit a minus 12 dB switch on this to get the line signal to match my cam. I didn't do that. So it was 12 dB hot. So it's like crazy, overblown, hot, ridiculous. And then when we don't talk, it's like, because the camera has a limiter to prevent it from getting damaged. You can hear the limiter relax and the whole room go like, because it's picking up like everything in the room. It's like the worst audio ever. Now, could it maybe RX fix it? I don't know. They make a lot of claims about that software, and I have it, and it does seem to be amazing, but it just seems like the audio is too far gone. But he brought over a killer Nags. I think RJ Ronquillo is a Nags guy now. He's a really good player, too. Amazing player. I just totally saved your life right there. Oh. So what brands do you want me to see while I'm out there? I'm definitely going to be seeing, all the usual. I'll go see Dan Electro and Framus and Fender and Gibson. I'm dying to see what Kramer's going to come out with. I'm hoping they're going to have like a nice new section. And, I'll go by PRS. I think Carlos Santana is going to be there, which is pretty damn awesome. I don't know. And others. PV, of course. I was just talking with one of my buddies from PV the other day. Hey, what's up, Rob S? Hey, Sinner, thanks, buddy. Buy a beer or something. I will. In fact, I will probably buy a Hunter a beer with that. Limited to domestic brands only. I'm seeing Charvel and EVH. Kramer, of course. Anything Super Stratty. I got you. Kramer. Yeah. I'll go check that out. Fortin amplification. Yeah, you know what? I just got a new... Oh, what is it? Hold on. I just got amplification Caliburn. The Caliburn, which is it's a Marshall, right? It's a 45, an 800, and a 900. I'm seeing Kramer and Charvel. Godin. Curious about the new Gibsons. I'm definitely hitting the Gibson booth. You know. Gotta go see my buddies. Yeah, that 50s and 60s series seems interesting, right? Right? There's only so many references I can come up with in a night. Right? Charvel, Ibanez, Warmouth, or Warwith. Black Star amps. I think Black Star's in the Korg booth. Crazy colors for Charvel. I don't know. I found that Charvel thumbnail from 2 years ago. Who knows what they're going to do. Hey, thanks, Chad. Much appreciated, buddy. Yeah. I'll be there, man. Yeah, we'll get a beer. You know? It should be good. I don't know if Hunter's still here, but if he's here, I don't know how many days are you there. I'm there. I come in Wednesday, late Wednesday night, but I'm there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I fly out a 6 a.m. flight Monday morning. I have to take like a 4 a.m. Uber. Mesa, but I don't think Mesa. They're not there anymore. Mesa hasn't been in the NAMM show in a number of years. I've been there like since starting in 2013, and Mesa's never been there since 2013. You know, Schecter, they always have a killer booth. Definitely Schecter. And ESP always has a killer booth. You know, Boss Amps. Reverend, I'm pretty sure Reverend's announcing the new the Gregory Cockery model. All right. Of course, Fishman will be there, right? Mr. Susie. All right, Boss Amps. I will definitely check out Roland and Boss, especially that new. Oh God, I'm blanking on the name. Is it West Tone? I forget the name of it. What's the new one? Hot Tone, West Tone, something Tone, Boss Tone. Is it the new Boss Tone? Here's a rectally derived one. Ola Solar. I don't know if Solar's going to be there. I'll have to check the list. I don't know if I didn't see Solar on the map. I usually like to go around and just scope out the map, right? Because the map is online. But I could do a search. He might be in another building. I thought I looked pretty carefully through Hall D, which is where he'd be. He'd be in Hall D, unless he's down in Hall E, right down in no man's land, because it's much cheaper down there. But then you're just down with all the Chinese imports. You want to try and get upstairs. You know, Chapman was downstairs for his first year, but he quickly, went right back upstairs. You don't want to be downstairs. Yeah, next tone. There you go. Oh, David, can you play Intro to the Rain song? That's actually a special tuning. It's not on a standard tuning. So sorry, David, whose name looked very familiar to me. Steve, have you settled on what PRS model you want to get? I kind of have. I've narrowed it down. I think I'm going to be happiest with the neck on a custom 24. It tends to be the smaller of the neck patterns, right? It's like pattern thin or whatever. I do like the McCarty, though. It's got a thicker neck, without a doubt. But I do like that. I'd probably go with that, a McCarty over like a custom 22. They're both 22 frets. I might be more into the McCarty. But I think I'm going either custom 24. I've seen a couple of CEs that looked amazing, but it's like I don't want to let anyone down by like not getting a set neck PRS. I almost feel like it's like if I get a CE, are people going to go, oh, boo, boo? That's sort of like PRS light. I mean, an S2, sure, but CE, that's sort of a weird area because they are kind of nice. All right. Yeah, CU24 thin, right? I have to, hey, what's up, Flipside? Gonna be out at NAMM, buddy? Should be good. I'm backtracking a little bit here. All right, let me get down to the end. Thoughts on the RG550 Genesis? I really like them. Bobby bought one. He brought it over, but I didn't have a chance to make a video. I wasn't set up yet. I had nothing set up for it. So, but he had one. I saw one on Guitar Center used in Road Flare Red for $4.99. And sure enough, it was long gone. God, I fell over myself to try and buy it. $4.99. I was like, damn, how do I miss that? If I got it, people would have been like, how do you find these? But I don't get all of them. $4.99. Some people are saying set neck only. Check on the cat. Cat is still there. Look, cat's, I'm going to say right now, cat's looking cold. 509, man up. You think so? Yeah, 509. Oh, great. Sounds good, Flipside. New shirt. Paddington is the bomb. CEs are no joke. Okay. So CE is acceptable. I don't know. See, part of me thinks that not everyone's going to be happy with that. That I almost need to get like a, like a custom 24. Just a straight up C. And that's just a matter whether you want 22 or 24 frets. And of those two, I'd probably go with the 24 fret. I think you should go with whatever you connect with. Screw what others think. Yeah. I know. Don't forget the cat. I know. I swear to God, she just turned around and like looked this way. I swear to God, you like heard me. Like the hearing on that thing. I'm sure it's really quiet out there because it's snowing. I swear to God, she just turned around. I get the old porch cam going. There's Overloud exhibit. They don't exhibit if TH4 is on the horizon. Probably not. They seem to have about a 5-year turnaround. They're on like Xbox and PlayStation release schedules, like every 5 years or so. Get a Modern Eagle old stock. It was $24,000, now only $22,000. Yeah, cat scratch fever, right? So someone said they really like the SEs. So I wouldn't get an SE, obviously, right? That's the import. It would be a CE, right? It would be a, obviously it'd be a, made in Maryland guitar. Yeah, don't be confused SE and CE because they, obviously they sound very familiar to each other, very similar. But no, definitely talking CE. But still, part of me says that People are going to be like, lame. Does Harley Benton go to NAMM? No, I don't think I've ever seen them there. You know, Harley Benton is Tolman. I lost the end of my... Oh, where is it? Where'd it go? I popped the switch tip off. I'll find it someday. I hate that. Hey, thanks, Music Therapy. No, you rock. We don't have a lot of snow out there right now. Just a coating. You know what? I'm gonna go let the cat in. Now it's getting on me. So, you know, talks amongst yourselves, and I'll go refresh my coffee. I'll go let the cat in, and I'll be back in about a minute or two. I'm gonna kill the mic so you don't have to listen to me taking this off. All right, I will. I'll see you guys in about 2 or 3 minutes. And I'm back. Ah. Hey, Vinny Sabatino. Now, there was a guy earlier in the chat named David Sabatino. Any relation? Oh. Is that greenish Stratocaster from '84? No, that's a parts caster. It's a 99 neck with a 2016 neck. 99 body with a 2016 neck. Damn. Steve loving the show. I'm off tonight. Dude, dude, literally, the family's not even here. Hop in the car and drive over. Like, there's nobody here. They went down to Providence to go see Panic at the Disco. What's your brother been up to? He's down in he's a brother from another mother, but he's down in the Carolinas, right? I think he went to South Carolina, North Carolina. I forget now. I think it's North. Steve, what are your headphones? Sennheiser HD 558. What the hell is in that coffee? This is the Sumatran blend from Kirkland. It's the old Kirkland Sumatran. Shall we talk about NAMM a little bit? We could talk a little bit more about it. We were talking about GoPros and vendors and stuff. They moved all the tech over into a new building. So that's always a little bit of an adjustment, right? Because you're like, where the hell is, HOSA? Where the hell is, IK Multimedia? They used to be in this like room over here, but now they're in another building. But you connect to it through a catwalk. It's a little crazy, but it works. Kitty sitting by the fire. Yeah, the kitty usually comes in and finds, we have a forced hot air. Usually finds a grate and just sits in front of it. You ready for a minus 30 to 40 wind chills coming in the Northeast? Yeah, but it's on Monday. We still have our football game tomorrow, MB 215. How's your club doing? You doing all right? You're playing tomorrow, right? This mixer is what's handling my voice. You can see it right there. Check. 1, 2. I've had this mixer since my wife bought it for me for Christmas in like 2000. Christmas 99, Christmas 2000. And I forget now, was it 99 or 2000? One or the other. And, that's why I married her. And it still works. Tascam TM-D1000. MB215. You've been dishing it. I've been quietly waiting. Truth be told, the Chiefs are a really good team. We may not get past them, realistically. But we still might. What do you think of that Fender Page telly that That would be an M. It's going to be expensive, right? It's not like a total custom shop, super duper. I mean, Fender's one of those companies that put in like a $1 million diamond encrusted Strat, right? They're one of those companies, so. Yeah, maybe. But he did drop it, so we'll never know. It is. It's all in good fun. It's all in good fum, as in fumble. Fumble. Let's get ready to fumble. Look, my team's one of 4 left. That's a pretty good place to be. See you, Angus. Really want to go to NAMM sometime. It's pretty cool. Every year it just feels overwhelming. Like there's just not enough time to get everything in. But you find a way. If Kramer has anything big. I don't know for sure, but they've been hinting around that they're going to come out with, certainly more models than they have in the past. They've been a little quiet since 2015, 2016. Certainly 2017 and 2018, they were really quiet. But now I think they're going to... Their website had new stuff. If you look at it, the news goes 2013, 2014, 2015, 2018. So... I want to keep Foles what we do. I think Foles is amazing. You guys are in trouble in that you have 2 guys that are pretty damn good. Right? I mean, we should all have such problems, but I think Foles is amazing. It's going to be weird with no TTK at NAMM. I know, no Tone King at NAMM this year. He started a new job last year, and I think he had to decide whether it was going to be GitCon or the NAMM show. And, GitCon is just such a killer event. He said, I'm going to do that over the NAMM show. It's a longer event. It's a week long instead of 4 days. And, it's not as much running around. It's a much smaller event. So I think he chose correctly. Why doesn't NAMM change the show location every year or so? I think it would be a good idea. That's I don't know, other than it's hard to get a place that has that kind of floor plan. That Anaheim Convention Center is enormous. I'm sure they could find another one. I mean, the Boston Convention Center is enormous too, but I don't think it's quite as big as the NAMM show. It's hard to get convention centers that size. It is pretty damn enormous. They already said goodbye to Foles. Kind of. Oh wow, I didn't know that. See, we don't get that news up here. I'd have to be like some ESPN insider. Yeah, no Chapman booth either. But again, for Chapman, I don't know, that it makes sense because I think in 2020 they're gonna at the 2020 NAMM they're gonna have like a big lineup change again, right? You sort of reinvent yourself every couple of years. You come out just like they did in 2017. Everything was new, right? They had all new guitars, the whole new Pro line. They just shifted the whole thing. And then last year they came out with the British custom line, right? Their priciest line, right? The British in-house, like British custom or British standard line, I think they call it. And then so it probably makes sense for them to not go this year because it would cost them probably $30,000 to $50,000 to go to the show. That's not chump change. Steve, you ever consider picking up a Kemper? I have, but again, it's hard. I mean, I get such a good sound through the software, and the software is only a couple of $100 versus a couple of $1,000. It's really hard. If I was a gigging musician, I probably would, because I love the technology stuff, and people who I know gig on a regular basis that use it, they swear by it because they just show up and the sound guy loves it. And he goes, I'm right out of he goes, it's got a little power if I have to power a cab. He goes, I literally just show up with this and come right out of the monitors or in-ears, right out of the in-ear system. So the Kemper for, gigging musicians really see. And I tell you, the other one that's all the rage right now with gigging musicians is Quilter Labs. Just really, really hot right now. They have a big booth this year at the NAMM show. Goes to show you how well they've been doing. Chairman also came out with the left-handed range. Yeah. So you know what? It's like if you went every year, you don't know that you're getting your money's worth, because some years are just not going to be as exciting. You haven't really done a lot that year. I mean, the show is only 12 months away from the last show. I know that sounds like a long time, but it's not that long. Not long enough to come out with a whole new line and get it into production and get it out. If you'll notice, a lot of brands that announce a product at the NAMM show don't ship that product until September or October of that year. They're literally that far behind from announcing it to actually ramping up the production and getting it in the store. PV is notorious for that, right? They come out with the product in January, and then it doesn't really come out till then. Hey, thanks, David. Much appreciated, buddy. So I think that's one of the... You really see some vendors, as soon as they announce it, say like Fender, they'll announce it. That guitar will be in stores like the next freaking week. They get their stock out. They're ready to roll. Other vendors are not quite. Yeah, it really depends on the vendor. Steve, I bought a Chapman Ghost Fret standard Indonesian made, best neck I ever felt. It doesn't sound good. I'm going to put some Gibson pickups in it. Gibson makes good pickups. They'd probably be fine. I find Gibson pickups can be a touch bright, depends on the model, right? Just try. I think Gibson makes great pickups. Of course, I like Duncan's. I like DiMarzio. There's a bunch of brands out there, the Fishman. There's a bunch of brands out there that make killer pickups. EMG, even though EMG gets a lot of hate, that they don't from me. But yeah, Gibson makes great pickups. I love the pickups in my Les Paul, like I said, a burst buckers or whatever, TH3, what's your signal input? Got noise? I got noise problems, or you mean you have noise problems when you use it? It sounded pretty quiet in my ears. But then again, I have the ears of an old man. No, you rock. So does Thin Lizzy. Thin Lizzy! There's a Wolverine side chat going on. Yeah, MB 215 says the classic 57s can't go wrong. Yeah, I agree. Right, classic sound. Yeah, I love EMGs. I don't know why they get so much hate, but they do. I never got it. I never understood it. I guess they sound a little compressed, I suppose. But that's the sound. That's the sound I want. Yeah, I had to send the Volas back because they need them for the NAMM show. So I had to send the old Vola. The Vola is gone Ola. No, I haven't oiled the headstock. I haven't oiled any of it. Am I supposed to? I don't think so. I think they seal it. I think the rosewood's sealed. Pretty sure. Better be. This isn't French roasted. This is rosewood. It's rosewood. It comes like this out of the tree. Those Volas were nice. Yeah, I really like the Volas. I thought they were gorgeous guitars. I wouldn't mind having an Aries. I think, now that I've tried a few different ones, the Blaze, I've tried the Vasti. I think I had an Oz here. I've had a few guitars here by Vola. Looking back at all the ones, I had the Luna here, which is an amazing guitar. Of the two, I think I like the Aries and the Luna, just because they have a very similar neck profile. Very similar. Yeah, the trees aren't sealed, but I think they do seal them at the factory. Thanks, 6-string Stanger. Yeah, mint chocolate chip, right? Steve, what's happening? Getting dumped on with snow here in Ohio. Yeah. Well, we're getting snow, but right now it's only like a coating. I can see it, in the cams coming down, but it's not that bad. The one thing that I remember looking out and I couldn't see out. I couldn't understand what was going on. It was fog. Fog in the camera. So I'm like, what the hell was going on? And it was fog. Steve, have you ever played a Splon amp? I don't think I have. They will probably be at NAMM. That's a company I think I remember seeing there. Love the Goodbye to Romance solo. Can actually play that one. I should learn that one. I don't think I know that one. Guitar swap time? We could. I do subscribe to Rick Beato's channel. We were at GitCon together. So, me and Rick, we're good buds now. Not really. Thanks for hanging, Tank. Yeah, I never really got into tellies either, but this one I just had to. This one it struck a chord with me. Les Paul time, yeah, I could do a little Les Paul. I don't play that one as much. I'd love to break out the Les Paul. Sort of like the anti-telly would be the Les Paul, I suppose. Yeah, I could do Les Paul. Hey, what's up, Tyler? I haven't heard anything about Charvel's new NAMM announcements other than I may have seen a green, like an army drab green Charvel that's been floating around the last day or two. Yeah, definitely, Cheddar. I'll be there, man. Let's definitely say hello. I'm sure we'll be bumping into each other. I mean, how big could the show be? Hey, Hey, Mr. Bradley, my man. Yeah, buddy, definitely, Mike. We're going to be hanging out, buddy. Show you around the NAMM show. Lots of fun, craziness. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good time. All right, so I think a lot of people are saying, yeah, let's go with the Les Paul. All right, I'm switching out to the Les Paul. Hold on, Les Paul switching time. I'm going to turn the mic off so you don't have to deal with the noise. All right, see you in a sec here. Fucking me, you want to go fuck her. All right, here we go. Yeah, see? Now we're back, and we have Les Paul. Look at that. There she blows. Oh. Then we got to and we got to tune it. And we got to tune it. Welcome to the tuning channel. All tuning. 24 hours a day. I tell you, I use my Echo all the time to tune my guitar. If I don't have a tuner handy, I just say, play guitar tuner. And it plays out the notes. I just tune by ear. Works pretty well. Come on. I knew that was a little sharp. Come on. That still feels a little sharp. All right. Let me see. I might have to bring that just down a hair. A hair more. There we go. Goes to show you just these pickups aren't not super strong. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Got to play it for a little bit after you tune it. And then tune it again. There it is. Yeah, absolutely, Mike. We'll see you in whatever 6 days. Feel like I'm out. My ears telling me out. See, the telly I played for a good 30 minutes before I got on here. And you sort of work that ease out again. I think it's stretching out on me a little bit. I probably need to get a little bit more. Yeah, is it going to slowly work its way up? See, what happens is you tune it a little flat, and then as you sit there, miraculously, over a few seconds, all of a sudden it goes natural, goes into time. That's because the nut's got a little friction in it. That still sounds out to me. Right? But now that's out. Well, that's staying in a little better. A little better. See if my damn neck grow. Falls down. Oh, falls down. Okay. Neck is broken. Need help. Yeah, on a broken neck, well, it depends on how clean the break is. Now, if I were you, I would most likely use Tight Bond, and I'd use glue injection needles that you can probably buy off of Amazon. That's how I fixed my friend's SG. I didn't want to pull it completely apart, so I used the needles to inject the glue down, and then I clamped it up and let it sit for like a couple of days to dry. Probably overkill, but I let it go a couple of days. And it came out great as far as I know. It's still working. Tight Bond 3, I'm pretty sure, is what I used because it had longer working time. It's a slower setup, and it was waterproof. So I thought that was a good thing to have a waterproof glue. I'm missing a couple of these notes here. I think I need a stronger sound. Now that we're Les Paul'ing it, it's a little too bright though. Don't I have something a little bit stronger, but not quite? Bring that down just a hair more. Well, the guitar's certainly back in tune. It takes a while to tune a guitar. It really does. That's got a stereo chorus going crazy on it. You know, what's so crazy is how bright it looks in the camera here. It's not nearly that bright in front of me. I think that's just the light coming off the light. The light coming off the light. Because that front doesn't look that color on cam. Looks much, much brighter. But, you know, if I brought it down to go for this top, it would make everything look dark, so. Steve, I won't be at NAMM this year, but will you be at the Dallas Guitar Festival in May? You know, I might do that one again. I really enjoyed myself there. And that trip was super cheap. Right? I mean, the flight down there, I want to say was like $79 each way or $99 each way. You know, I want to say I paid with taxes and everything about $199, $200. So I'll bet one flight was $99 and the other one was $79. It was cheap. And the hotel the same way. The hotel was pretty damn cheap. So I might do it again. I really enjoyed that. And, you know, the food in Dallas is amazing. So, well, another reason to go. I really liked that show a lot. It was, you know, most of the shows I go to is all new gear. And that was not that show. That show had a lot of vintage gear, and I really dug that. If you want to know why Van Halen makes it so his treble is up, it's so when he goes down here, he doesn't hit it accidentally to the rhythm part, right? Where is it? That's not right. There it is. Something like that. That was a much better take. I'm on JetBlue. I always take JetBlue. Ibanez looks like it's going crazy at NAMM. We'll see. Ibanez always has a pretty big booth. The two biggest booths on the floor will be Ibanez and Framus, believe it or not. They have one of the biggest booths there. Oh, having fun. Was planning on going to the Columbus, Ohio show, but may skip Columbus, Ohio Guitar Show may skip because of snow. Yeah, it's that time of year. I tell you, now they're talking about we might see a little snow on Wednesday, but it's going to turn to rain. It's going to get much warmer. And my flight's not till like 5 o'clock at night, 5:30. So, you know. What's up, James? Ah, man. Something like that. When did the chorus effect take off? The 80s. Yeah, pretty much in the mid. That whole era of Van Halen is when the chorus really went crazy. Pretty much, you know. You know, that whole era, you know. That's hard to play without a trans trim. That's where he breaks the trem off. I feel like I'm out again here. I'll say one thing about this guitar, it's much louder in person. Like I can hear my guitar coming through a lot more than the Tele. Yeah, that sounds pretty damn good. Oh, God, and that coffee is good. Yeah, I think this is called Cherry Sunburst. Cherry Burst, Cherry Sunburst, something like that. What's up, North Glen, Colorado? This is a 2012 LP, 2012, so I guess that's what, 7 years? Or is it 2011? 2012. I knew it was a 212, but just had to double check. I guess these are burst buckers, right? I don't even really know. I'm no expert on what came with what. This is a Premium Plus, right? So whatever came stock on that, I got to think they're burst buckers, or maybe they're custom 57s. I don't know. do a video if I sent you my 2009 56 Custom Shop Strat. Hold off on that. It took me like 3 months to do friggin' what's his name's carving. It's like I'm a little backed up on videos right now. And besides, I worry taking people's other, stuff into my possession because, I don't want anything to happen to it. It's always worrisome, a little bit more angst. I mean, you should see the scratches I put on that carving. No, that's a joke, but seriously, I worry about that. How come no SG? I came close to buying one. I really regret not buying it. It was the 24 fret one with the little Firebird pickup in the neck. And I might have had an ebony fingerboard, maybe not. Maybe it was just a rosewood, but it was just dark. But it's really, really nice. It was ebony color. In other words, it was the black, right? That's where the ebony's coming from. And it was a black with, chrome hardware or whatever. And it was up there cheap, really cheap. I'd seen them before, like $10.99, $11.99. It was up there for $7.99. And let me tell you, I stared at that for a long time. And luckily, someone bought it out from under me because I would have been buying it. Yeah. And that, because it had the 24 frets, it was really, I like it when it's a little out like that, a little off, a little weird. Time is at 8:39, man. Do you happen to know where I would be able to find the spec for a 95 American Standard Strat? I don't. I wouldn't even know where to start to look for that. The forums are a good place to start. A place like Strat Talk or something like that. There are guys in there that they know like anything and everything about the model, so they might be able to point you in the right direction. Usually, like, what I love about Ibanez is that they post all their catalogs. So you can just go to the catalog and download it and get a lot of specs right out of the catalog. I don't think Fender does that. They might go back 10 years or so, maybe 15, but they're not going back to, like, the 70s like Ibanez does. And I wish they would. I wish they'd just get there, if they have copies, just digitize them and get them up there. I know a little bit of AC/DC album songs. You still working on your album? I am. In fact, I was just working on it the other day. So it's getting there, very, very, very slowly. That's probably the first time I've worked on it in like 2 months. But I felt like I had to do something. Does graphite work to keep the strings from sticking in the nut? It does. Graphite's one of the better ones because, number one, it's dry. And number two, graphite does really well under pressure. Right? It doesn't scrape out. It does really well under the force of the string. So you really get a nice slippery surface even though it's under a tremendous amount of pressure. Yeah, that's a Dan Electro right there. That's a D59X. Right, that's the 59X. That's a great guitar. Really like that. I do like Gibson Explorers. I'd like to own one at some point. Time's fun when you're having flies, exactly. How many songs have you finished? That's a good question. It's like, when are they ever finished, right? I could probably say that 1 or 2 are very close to being done, But, because, right, it's like you keep going back saying, I think it's done. Is it done? I think it's done, right? You know how that goes. It's like you just, you're like, could I make it a little better? Could I mix this a little better? Maybe. It's it's just one of those things where you could spend forever on it, and I'm trying not to do that. 143 over in Glasgow. Well, thanks for staying up, buddy. Much appreciated. For recording everything, I use TH3 because I tried to use other stuff and it wasn't coming out with the sound I wanted. And I just kept going back to TH3. And the great thing about TH3 is even after I get the track down, I can go in and tweak the amp. I can reamp in real time. Oh, let me change this. Let me change that. Because the track is clean. The track doesn't get recorded with any effects on it. But if I recorded the amp, it would have effects on it. Right? Unless I did a separate DI track. Anyway, and then reamp that DI track. That's a lot more work. If this album's going to be done in my lifetime, I got to stick with TH3. And I think TH3 sounds great, so. Thanks, Metal God. No, you rock, buddy. Yeah, it's like just one of those things where you're spending all this time, and there really is no point. Unlike cooking a steak, where you can say, "Oh, that's done," right? You're giving it a little push. You say, "Oh no, that steak's done," right? You just know. When's a song done? Right? I mean, to some part, once you get the mechanics down, but then you're left in that hell that is mixing. And you're just like, oh, maybe I should bring this in. Or now it sounds too cluttered. Maybe I like this better. Is it too compressed? Am I hearing too much noise? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So, we'll see. All right, and we might have to go something a little different. What do we got here? She's bassy, huh? It's almost like a... sounding like a Boston, Maybe, this is sort of like where we started, This is such a great sound. No, I'm telling you, it's a little weird playing this after playing that telly. Very, very different neck feel going on here. Any rumors about Marshall for NAMM? No, I haven't heard any. I do know this. Marshall is upstairs for the first time. They're finally, I think, up on the second floor. So that's a change. They were always down in the main floor, and you go past the big giant stack. I mean, how many times have I walked by and got a photo of that stack on day one of the NAMM show and posted it up on, social media? I do that pretty regularly every year. It's not going to be there. I'm gonna have to go up and get into their room. That's a little trickier. A lot of times when they have the rooms up there, they do it to block you out so they can deal with dealers in the morning. Like Fender won't even let you in until like noon. They don't even want to talk to you. What's your opinion on the TBX Stone Pot? I like it. I know a lot of people don't. It's basically it's like a mid boost, right? At its heart, like at the heart of what it does, it's sort of like a bit of a mid boost. I think it was a way to sort of get a little bit different sound than what a Strat or a Tele was putting out. I kind of like them. I think the more options, the better. But I know there's some people don't want to hear any of it. Then there's a few. They have a grease bucket circuit. They have a few circuits, Fender. That Tele I was just playing had the what do they call that? The bypass, right? Tone bypass. Once you get to there's like a notch at 100%, and you completely bypass the entire pot. Makes it a lot brighter. Your nephew Josh? How about this is live? This isn't live, Josh. This is pre-recorded. Your name was sent to me by carrier pigeon. Planning any more shows with Chris Bliss? I haven't heard of that dude in years, so no. SFB is a recorder. Acceptable to record bass parts in TH3 with the octaver instead of an actual bass, which I don't own. Probably, if you can get away with it. Gotta be real careful that octaver can be a little sensitive. But yeah, it works. I've done it. I haven't done a recording like that, but I've used it to very quickly lay down little bass parts. It works. Yeah, I'm interested to see what Kramer has cooking too, Sammy. It should be interesting. I lost a little internet for a little bit. You was at the storm. You in a storm down there right now too, or is it just up here? Is Kramer in the Gibson booths or by themselves? They'll be in the Gibson booth. Absolutely. Gibson is one of those companies that gets an upstairs room. Like Fender, PV gets an upstairs room. They're not on the main floor. Yeah, it's that old thing where you can like, there's the 4 chord. There's the 4. All you do is just take in this little shape. Steve, could you explain your stream setup? It's a little complicated. I basically have one audio interface that mixes everything, and I run that out and back into the computer through an audio cable, and then I have the streaming software. I used to use 2 computers, but now I have it down to 1, and it hasn't crashed yet. Knock on wood, simulated wood grain. Get an SG, yeah. All right, hold on. Oh, there I am. I lost my picture here. What's up, Tindoog? Feel like what Scooby-Doo said. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? Your friend didn't have to do now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you. Right? It's the 1, it's a 1, 2, 5, right? Right? There's the 5. Probably goes to the 4. No. Yeah, then the 5. Where are you? So 1 major, 2 minor, of course. 5 major. Back to the 1. I love those, all those old, like, not show tunes, I guess, theme songs, right? Theme tunes. Oh. Never been, Steve. I remember I asked you about the Silver Sky. Now, because it's not a Strat. John Mary's catching hell because it's not a Strat. You know, here's the thing. It's not a Strat. I played the Silver Sky at GitCon. Amazing playing and sound and guitar. Really, really nice. I mean, you can't help but notice it's, through the roof in quality. But, it's not a Strat, but it's still a killer guitar. I mean, I don't know what people are all up in arms about. Here's the thing. As I understand it, John Mayer's friend and contact left Fender. And it's a funny thing that happens. Now, the guy who you're like best friends with at the firm is no longer working for them. And that goes to show you the relationships. That's what I heard happened, was that, I don't know if he retired or what happened, but the guy that John was like his artist relation guy was no longer with them. And I probably didn't feel a ton of loyalty to them. And, went to PRS. Plucking that one out. All right, Zerubbabel. 2 a.m. there. I hear you, buddy. Yeah, 8:56. We're going to be wrapping it up here in a few minutes. I would like to try is it Vigier, Vigier? I don't know. Someone spell it out phonetically for me. I think is it VGA? In America, it would be Vigier, Vigier. You got it. I try to do the grooves as much as I can, if I can. What happened with Sir and Guthrie? I don't know. It could have just been a matter of Viagra. It's Viagra. I'm going to go with it. I'm going with that. What happened with Sir and Guthrie? I don't know. Guthrie Govan. It could just be that, Charvel was looking to pay him more. So one of the things you have to realize is that signature models, right? A little bit of that signature model, a tiny fraction of that goes back to the artist. So if you're Guthrie Govan and you're sitting at home and saying, well, how many guitars am I going to sell with Sir? Fairly expensive guitar. And how many guitars am I going to sell with Charvel? Again, a fairly expensive guitar, but probably a more robust distribution system. And he probably just said, as from a business standpoint, he would move a lot more signature guitars under the Charvel name than he would under the Sir name. And it literally is that simple. At the end of the day, it is a business. As much as we like to, VZ. Oh, wait, now some people are trying to write them out here. Vigier. VGA. Oh, VGA. Oh, I get it. VGA. I think you're right. I think that sounds right. Yeah, but he's been with Charvel for a couple of years now. Guthrie, he's been with them at least 2 years, maybe longer. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it's 8:59, and it's that time where we have to say goodbye again. Goodbye, goodbye to you. I'll see those of you at the NAMM show that will be there. Yeah, if you're at the NAMM show, please, go, yo, dude. Exactly like that. And say hi, because I will be there all 4 days. So, you rock. And, thanks so much, guys. Very much appreciated. So I will be back from NAMM a week from Monday, and I'll be full of lots of piss and vinegar. I'll be ready to roll. Hopefully, I'm going to have some pretty sick video footage and get it up as soon as I can. So we'll go there. All right, dudes. As always, no, you rock. Yeah. No, Vinny. When I get back, buddy, we got to hook up. February is a good month for you. So as soon as I get back, let's do this. Let's get together. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, I'm scrolling up. I'm officially scrolling up, and you know what? We just hit 2 hours. We're at 2 hours and 34 seconds. So that's pretty good. All right, dudes. As always, thanks so much for hanging out. You guys totally rock. I will see you after I get back from the NAMM show. And until then, as always, rock on.